My name's Nick Harris. I'm 35. And for the past 8 years, I thought I was living the kind of picture-perfect marriage you brag about in Christmas letters. I'm a merchant marine engineer, 3 months at sea, 6 weeks at home, the usual rhythm. And my wife Kelly had always said she was proud of the way I busted my tail to keep a roof over our heads and our 10-year-old daughter in ballet shoes. This whole nightmare started this spring. I happened to dock back in Norfolk 3 days earlier than scheduled. I didn't text Kelly, wanted to show up with a grin, a suitcase full of duty-free chocolate, and my buddy Jake Lawson in tow. Jake's my age, same academy class, same trash-talking, sense of humor, but he rides different contracts, so we rarely pull the same voyages. As luck had it, he was on shore leave too. The plan was simple: split a bottle of good whiskey, swap sea stories, then swing by my place and watch Kelly's jaw hit the floor when she saw us. She loves Jake like a brother and always says the house feels lighter when he's around. We grabbed a booth at Dockside Bar, ordered wings, chased them with shots, felt 18 again. 2 more sailors I'd crewed with back in 16 recognized us, dragged over chairs, and the night turned rowdy fast. Old injuries compared, ports of call rated like Yelp reviews, glasses clinking every time someone shouted, "Blue water." Somewhere between toast number 5 and 6, one of the guys, his name's Mark Gillette, leans back and says, "Hey Nick, kinda. Wild. Thought I saw your missus down by Harbor Crossing 2 nights back." She was with a pair of dudes in a black Charger, looked friendly. Laughter around the table stalled. My ears rang hotter than the whiskey burn. Mark kept talking like he was describing the weather. Said the 3 of them ducked into the sea glass lounge. One guy's hand on Kelly's lower back in a way no cousin or coworker ever touches. I snapped, hauled him out of the booth, planted a right hook square on his jaw before Jake or anyone else registered what was happening. Mark hit the floor, bar back yelled, chairs scraped. Jake bear hugged me off the guy. I was livid. Sure, my buddy was trash-talking for kicks because everyone knew Kelly spent her nights doing homework with our daughter and swapping banana bread. Recipes with PTA moms. Mark, woozy but game, wiped blood from his lip and, God help me, apologized. Said maybe he'd misread the scene, bought a round to call it even. We clinked glasses, tension cooled, but fun had left the building. Jake and I paid out, grabbed street air to clear our heads and trekked the mile to my house. Me clutching a bouquet of yellow tulips I'd picked up at a 24-hour stand. Jake balancing a box of Kelly's favorite sea salt caramels. Halfway up the stairwell of my apartment building, we heard it. Rhythmic thuds, muffled moans, someone very clearly enjoying themselves. We laughed, elbowed each other, tossed a playful "get it, neighbor." Knock into the drywall. Only when I slid my own key home and the soundtrack got louder did the penny drop. That voice, I'd sailed 1,000 nautical miles just to hear that voice, was definitely Kelly's. Door opens, living room lamps on, sofa cushions on the floor. Kelly and 2 strangers are fully entangled, not a stitch of clothing within grabbing distance. Time froze long enough for Jake to mutter, "Hell," and for one of the guys, buzz cut, Navy, gym physique, to lock eyes with me, sheer terror blooming across his face. Everything after that plays on loop some nights even now. Flowers hitting the hardwood like busted fireworks, Jake and me diving forward, fists flying. Those 2 scrambled for pants, we gave them bruises instead. Kelly screaming, "Stop! Nick, stop!" But adrenaline had blasted the volume knob off my moral compass. We frog marched the duo, naked, bleeding, panicked into the hallway and literally kicked them down 3 flights of stairs. Jake, who is a better man than I deserved that night, chucked their clothes after them so the building wouldn't call the cops on public indecency. 5 minutes of hallway silence later. I walked back in, chest heaving, tulip stems mashed to green, pulp across the rug. Kelly crouched beside the couch, trembling, mascara painting war stripes. All I could think to do was pick up the broken bouquet and whip it against her thighs until petals exploded like confetti. She didn't fight back, just curled her arms over her head and sobbed. Jake stood in the kitchen doorway, eyes on the floor, letting me burn out my rage. When the last stem snapped, I sagged onto the coffee table and stared at the woman I'd promised forever. I asked one question: why? Through hiccups, she said the words that rearranged my universe. One guy isn't enough. For me anymore, I need more. 2 at once, sometimes 3. I tried to stop. 8 years of memories cracked like thin ice. I felt hollow. For 2 hours we talked. Well, I talked. She mostly cried. She begged me not to divorce her, swore she loved me, but also admitted she didn't plan to quit the lifestyle. Said she'd discovered group hookups on a moms-only Telegram chat, that it made her feel alive while I was chasing paychecks across oceans. When my voice finally quit, I opened the kitchen door. Jake stubbed out his cigarette, offered me a spare bedroom at his place, said he'd stay close so you don't do something that lands you in federal court. I grabbed my sea bag, a clean t-shirt, and left. Kelly tried to follow, slipped on rose petals, called my name down the hallway. I never looked back. Jake and I spent that night, and the sunrise that followed, draining cheap bourbon, staring at his ceiling fan, waiting for the world to reset. The hangover was biblical, but the hurt felt like it had edges I could finally trace. Over the next week, I filed divorce papers, texted Kelly a list of days I'd be by to pick up gear, broke the news to our daughter in the gentlest half-truth possible. Mom and Dad need different things, but we both love you bigger than the sky. Then, I signed onto a 4-month contract bound for Rotterdam, Singapore, Dubai, because the one place my brain shuts up is an engine room humming at 120 decibels. Out there, sweat and diesel and salt water drown out heartbreak. I'll admit this too. First port night, I walked into a harbor bar and paid for company. Something I used to swear I'd never do. Didn't even feel guilty. Felt numb, which was a kind of relief. Fast forward, contract's done, direct deposit fat. I rent a 1-bedroom near the shipyard. Jake checks on me, drags me to trivia nights, refuses to let me drown in self-pity. 2 months into shore time, he introduces me to April, a paramedic, with freckles and a laugh that hits like sunshine. I'm gun-shy, tell her point blank I come with storm warnings and baggage heavier than anchor chain. She shrugs, says medics have seen worse, asks if I want coffee or keep talking doom. April and I click. She doesn't mind that I still flinch when someone slams a door. I don't mind her night shifts and pager buzz at 3 a.m. We start building something that feels sturdy. Here's the catch. Weddings cost money, and money still comes easiest in open water. So I sign one last 3-month contract. Swear to myself, it's the final long haul. I ask Jake, trusted, battle-tested Jake, to keep an eye on April, mostly so she's got company for Netflix marathons, partly because I know exactly how loneliness hunts. Do I worry history will repeat? Sure, but I've learned you can't chain people to promises. You can only keep showing up once you make them. This time, when the gangway drops in December, I'll hand in my C badge and look for a shoreside tech gig. It'll pay less, sleep more, and maybe save me from becoming the ghost my ex claims to crave. If you stuck around for this whole messy tale, thanks for listening. Drop your thoughts below. Was I right to bolt? Or should I have tried to fix a marriage already drowning? Smash that like button if you think trust once shattered can't be glued back with apologies, and hit subscribe for more real-life storm stories. Right here on the channel. Until next time, keep your knots tight, your friends tighter, and never ignore the storm warnings on the horizon.